Very exciting. Discovering Beauty has landed, and I wanted to capture it on camera because Sophia has packaged it so beautifully. There's like petals and a little sticker and a stamp. Yeah, really excited to get into the box. So, what do we have under here? Ooh, amazing. A lot of very well packaged decks. Right, I'll take it to the table and let's see what we've got. Good morning, lovelies. Today I've got a quick unboxing for you all of the wonderful Discovering Beauty Tarot by Sophia Litwak. This has just arrived on my doorstep because I am stocking the deck in my tarot shop, tarotgrove.co.uk, and it's one that I have just been insanely excited to get my hands on. I just think the artwork is so breathtaking, so I'm really excited to have a chance to kind of dive into it this morning with you all. The lighting is a little warm toned because I have a couple of beeswax candles off screen, but all the photos in the shop are clear about the like actual tones of the colours. We've got this beautiful 2-part box with the gorgeous kind of leaf butterflies, which is a really nice touch. It kind of really brightens up the box. The deck comes with the usual 78 tarot cards and this very sweet guidebook, which has short but really lovely reflective pieces. I have had a play with the deck. I put it back in order so that I can show you all, but I've already had a bit of a play and a look through some of the images. We've also got a little bit at the back about card reversals, different spreads, and some of the places that Sophia got inspiration from, also a prayer for a reading. It's just a really, really lovely piece of work, and I realise I actually often call tarot decks like, oh, this is a nice piece of work or piece of artwork, and I think I feel really connected to like the intensity of what the process must be to create something like this. You know, the 78 cards, it's like 78 pieces of artwork, and yeah, it does. It feels like a body of work. So I don't mean work in the sense of like, you know, the kind of, I guess some of the more negative connotations you would have with the word work. I mean it in a sense of like, this is a really impressive body of artwork that we're looking at, and yeah, I just have so much reverence and respect for the creators of these decks. So I'll do a flip through and then a brief reading at the end. Maybe just commenting on what comes up for me as I look through the cards. I'll try not to take too long. But I mean, already I am so immersed in like this magician card. I love the kind of almost cave art paintings in the background here. It makes me think about the really like innate nature of the magician. You know, this is a power that we have had to manifest since the dawn of humanity, and I love this sense that like the magician is sort of breathing life into the card. Also, apologies if I'm shaking a little bit today. I had to, my asthma was playing up, so I've had to take my inhaler, which sometimes makes me a little bit wobbly. I will try and keep the card still. Beautiful High Priestess, really. Makes me think about like the goddess Nuit and the night sky and the feminine principle of, yeah, receptive container. Beautiful. The artwork has such a soft, fluid, embracing feeling to it. I really feel very moved by by the deck. As I said, I've already had a look through it, and it brings me like tears to my eyes, because it just feels like it opens up my heart space so profoundly. Like that strength card, I mean, oh, it's like the gentleness of strength. Strength doesn't have to mean overpowering or bullying or being the strongest person in the room. There's something incredibly potent about, yeah, the strength of just being ourselves. Beautiful, beautiful Hermit card. It's a really peaceful deck as well. Yeah, great Justice card. Kind of, I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that there's this like even Lilith kind of banding together, but don't quote me on that. I think sorry, just taking a sip of my hot drink. Yeah, I think that's the sort of information that would be in the full-sized guidebook, which I do have one copy of, which I may or may not put up on the shop. I'm undecided yet. I might have give you a quick show at the end of this video. The melted metamorphosis state as we dissolve into the chrysalis before rebirthing as a butterfly. I also just really appreciate the softness and roundness of the bodies and the different skin tones, and it just feels like it's full of real people. Absolutely incredible tower card. Yeah, it really feels like it. Here, you're not sure whether the lightning is striking the person or the person is creating this like explosion of energy. And in a way that kind of speaks to the way that we often create our own tower moments. You know, our soul knows the need for transformative change, and sometimes we crack open, I think, to create that change for ourselves. And this sort of powerful seated meditation pose, it's like an invitation to be present to the destruction and chaos, and kind of posture of allowing with the hands up and open. Really receiving like the wisdom that is available in those times. Oh, the colour palette as well is absolutely so up my alley. Ooh, beautiful. I like the kind of vulva shape that the woman is emerging from in the moon. Dairy Medusa. Okay, so that was the majors. Now we have a slight difference. So also one of the other things I didn't mention is, like, as you can see, all of the titles are like woven into the artwork from the get-go, so they're not printed anywhere on, which I think is such a lovely touch. It really makes the whole piece very seamless. And you can also see that like the borders of the art, so this is one of the only ones that has like a kind of square border. Most of them have these like wiggly kind of shaping around the artwork, which I feel is very unique, and also just, I don't know, creates this lovely like invitation to kind of dive into the fluid world of the art. And yeah, the way that the text is woven in, like Sophia's font that she's created is really beautiful and seamless with the artwork. And we've got a renaming, obviously. As you can tell, there's been a few renamings, like Awakening, Earth. Now I'm not going to be able to remember the other ones. But yeah, there were a couple, I think, in the majors, and then in the minors we have it named the suits are named elementally, and then we have Ace Fire and Two Fire, rather than Ace of Fire and Two of Fire. I'm not quite sure how that changes the feeling for me, but it does. Maybe I'll have some more reflections on it later. Beautiful person here sitting, watching, like, I don't know, this also to me looks a little bit like this kind of outline of another person. It feels like considering, looking and pondering on like the possible future self. 3 Fire, somebody who looks poised and absolutely ready to step into their future, and they've even got this wing ready to fly. Beautiful warm tones like this. Oh, what a safe and containing feeling family there. There's so much warmth and hearth. I mean, it looks like they're literally sitting in the hearth fire in the image, which, you know, given that I feel like the 4 of Wands is often, you know, about homecoming, this is like really, you know, the hearth is the center of the home. Something much more challenging here, that the flames feel overpowering, and again, interesting that like some of them are coming from the person. So I feel like there's like a little thread here, both in that Tower card and here, of a kind of looking not only at the ways that the world sort of can be challenging and can feel like it's, you know, like that Tower card, that something from the outside has come and struck us, but also the way that we collaborate in creating the challenges of our life. It's sort of a radical accountability, which I really appreciate in terms of making meaning of my life. I feel like if I experience my life as a victim of external circumstances that are out of my control, and they come in and they create havoc, that leaves me in a very disempowered place. Whereas if I can try and make meaning, okay, this has happened in service of my growth, and there's some way in which my soul called this event forward, in which I have been a kind of co-collaborator in creating this challenge, because this is the challenge that I need in order to grow and thrive, then I don't know, it leaves me personally feeling in a more empowered place. 6 of Fire, oh, glorious, phoenix rising kind of feelings. 7 Fire. Now she's really flying. She looks like she's dancing in the flames. Protector. Interesting. I've just noticed that we've got some like water in this card, and this is 10 Fire, so there's this feeling almost of like spilling over into the next suit, which I think is Cups, or water. So there's a feeling that like when you hit, you know, the 9 is sort of the completion of the suit, and then the 10 being this overflowing energy. Maybe this is like where the fire meets water. Lovely. And then we have a renaming of the court cards. So here is the Page, which is Root Fire, hanging out with this, what looks like a, what is the word? Iguana. So that Root Fire, got these in the wrong order. There we go. Root Fire is the Page of Wands. Voice Fire is the equivalent of the Knight. So we can think about Root as obviously being, like, I work, and I think Sophia does as well, I work elementally with the court cards. So for me, the Page of Wands is Earth of Fire. So Earth being the roots makes perfect sense to me. Then we have the Knight of Wands, which is fire of fire, and I think the voice as fire is a really brilliant choice, because our voice is the way that we interact with and engage with and take ourselves into the world through our speech and our, you know, sharing our truth and our opinions and our voice. So I love that for the knights. So voice fire. Then we have, of course, heart fire. So the Queen of Wands being water of fire is heart fire, perfect. And then the final is the King of Wands is, for me, air of fire. And we have spirit fire here, which is perfect. Again, this kind of air as not just intellect, but clear seeing, and something that is, I guess, in a sense, a little different than spirit, but I do like the choice of spirit. Again, just like voice was a little different than probably you would traditionally read the Knight of Wands. This might be a little different than I would traditionally read the King of Wands, as being kind of, you know, charismatic and maybe strategic, etc. Spirit takes it somewhere a little different, but I like that actually a lot. I've always struggled to connect with the King, so I wonder if I will find this an easier read in that regard. Then we have the water suits. This is the cups. We have Ace Water, which has a very different feel to the Wands. This very soft, almost dreamlike. It makes me think about like water nymphs. 2 water, lovely. 3 water, yeah, we've got little fairies playing, dancing. 4 water, just breathing in the stormy rain air. I really love that 4 of water, and I would actually like to read the guidebook for it, because to me it feels like, you know, where the 4 of water can feel stagnant and, you know, like the stagnant quality of water, that we sit in our melancholy and we sit in apathy. Apathy is a word that I often associate with the 4 of Cups. Here it feels like it's inviting us, instead of feeling like, oh, it's a rainy day and I'm bored and, yeah, and I'm just not. I'm not feeling excited or renewed by anything, to recognize the renewal and the nourishing nature of rest, because the fours I again often associate with pause and rest, which can be nourishing or it can be stagnant. If we rest and we stay stuck for too long. So here this feels like a real presence to the presence to the pause moment. So let's see what Sophia has to say about the 4 of water. 4 water. Water asks us to be receptive to the world around us, to turn our face up to the sky, to open our eyes and our arms wide. How can I let go of my agenda and listen? I open my eyes and my arms to the world, listening. Ooh, how can I let go of my agenda and listen really feels great for this card, because I guess part of what causes us to feel bored or apathetic is this sense that like there's somewhere that we should be that we're not and we're stuck. Whereas if we can just kind of root into the present moment and surrender, then there's so much beauty there. Don't know if you can hear my washing machine, but it sounds like it's about to take flight, so apologies if you can. 5 water, inviting the waves of emotion. 5 water, you know, this 5 of Cups can often feel overwhelming, like we're totally in despair, but this person almost looks like they're ready to receive and feel their feelings. Oh, look at the tiny little glow. It's like the warmth of the inner child. 7 water, some kind of maybe clouded judgment going on. We're getting stuck, can't see our way through clearly. A lighthouse for the 8 of water, beautiful choice. I heard Lisa Pepez describe this as like cradling the inner light, which is just lovely. 10 water. Then we're back to the quartz, so root is the page, root water, voice is the night, voice water, heart water as the Queen of Cups. Holding a little snail from the looks of things. Is that a snail? Yeah, sweet. And spirit water. Oh, wow. Yes. Love that. Then we have air for the swords. Ace of air. 2 of air. Just look at the way that like the text has been woven into the branches of the tree. Very cool. 3 air. 4 air. I like this 5 air. I'm kind of intrigued by, she sort of looks, or they look a bit scared. I'm seeing almost like a trembling in the yellow around, and we've got this big sort of scary monster, shadow monster behind. But also they seem quite connected to their heart and open, and there's something in there about remaining open and not just acting through our fears, because I think in the 5 of Swords perhaps there's something else often driving us to behave in a not so grounded, kind way. So here I'm seeing maybe a more aware version of the 5 of Swords, where she's really able to like hold, yes, there is fear present, and I could act in line with that fear, and I could say something that makes me feel more powerful. I could say something mean, or I could, whatever the action is that's coming from fear, or I can like take ownership of that, hold my heart, and try and remain open and present. Oh, I'm going to read from the guidebook again. I'm too intrigued. Maybe not at all what Sophia was going for, but oh no, that's fire. Keep going to fire. Air. Air asks us to admit defeat and to surrender. From this place of feeling we have lost, we might find the space to name what it is we really want. Where do I feel resentful? I do not need to win. Instead, I seek connection. Okay, brief intermission because I ran out of storage on my phone, so I just had to delete some things. So I just read the entry for 5 air. Lovely, like, protection amid the storm. This feels like a kind of inner cave experience. 8 air. Yeah, really like entangled. She almost looks sort of, stuck in a web. Unable to use her arms. I just think that, I really can't get over the artwork. I feel my whole body softens when I look at it. Like I almost melt into the cards, that like all of the edges and the bodies, everything feels so soft and takes me into a really unusual space, like not one that I get from any other deck I've got, I don't think. I'm trying to think if there's any others that have this really Perhaps a little bit the Future Ancestor Tarot also has a real softness to it, but maybe a little bit less fluidity than this. Voice air, heart air, spirit air. Okay, we're on to the last suit. Ace Earth, which is the Pentacles, of course. Oh, beautiful. Nice act of balance. Wow. Yeah, like a cathedral of trees. Oh, beautiful. Some of these I find very intuitive. Others I love the imagery, and that speaks to me, but not necessarily of my traditional kind of radical reciprocity meaning that I would normally associate with the Six of Pentacles. So I would go to the guidebook, but I honestly, didn't buy this deck because I wanted a clone of the Smith Waite. You know, this is something of its own, and I really appreciate the elemental approach, and I really appreciate in the large guidebook, which I'll grab in a moment. Sophia goes through her whole process of for each card. And so I think there's a real like weaving of different bodies of knowledge and different approaches to the tarot. So I'm really happy to work with the guidebook, even the small one, you know, like Sophia's kind of distilled messages in here to expand the, you know, the meaning that I have for the Six of Pentacles or Six Earth. Because I really love the artwork. It's not like I'm like, oh, that artwork feels confusing and I don't know what's in it. Like I feel very connected to the art, and so it's just a question of me, I guess, working with what my intuitive take is. I mean, here I could see like the radical generosity of nature, you know, that this sense that nature is abundant, and we don't need to be like measuring out how much we're giving, how much we're receiving. If we can take a radical stance of like tending to nature, which is an act of giving, then nature will provide for us. You know, this is the sort of vibe and energy that I get from this image, and I just think it's so beautiful. I really can't tell you how much the color palette is absolutely for me. Like I just think it's so beautiful. 7 Earth, 8 Earth. She is the roots of the tree. Oh. 10 Earth. Last of the court cards. Root Earth, frolicking. Earth of Earth. Page of Pentacles, frolicking through the mountains and the fields. Voice Earth. Ooh, that looks a bit like Standing Stone, like from Stonehenge. Interested to read the inspiration for that. Heart Earth. And Spirit Earth. Ooh. Fiery. Okay, so this was the deck itself. Before I read, I will grab the mini and the guidebook and come back. Okay, so I'm not sure if I mentioned, I said I've only got one copy of the guidebook. So I'm not stocking them right now in my shop, but if there is enough demand, like if enough people request it, then I can get more copies from Sophia and stock them. It is an unbelievable guidebook. I mean, yeah, I probably should have just got them to go alongside, but you never know what the demand is going to be. And then I've also got the little mini version here, which in fact, I'll show that briefly first, just so you get a quick sense of the sizing in comparison. It is diddy, like really, really, really small, which is excruciatingly cute. Get it out of the, there you go. And it also comes with a tiny, tiny little guidebook, for which, yeah, Sophia has like distilled the message down even more. But they're still really great. Like 3 air, create a home and a space for your sorrow. Ask it questions. There is nothing wrong with feeling sad. What a great message from the Three of Swords. So I will just show you, there's 3 main differences. First is that here this deck comes edged in black already, which I love. This deck does not have any edging, and the main difference, apart from the size, is that the mini version has black edging rather than white. So I like that there's a change in that regard. It means that the mini is like a slightly different offering. It does have quite a different feel to it. Here the artwork is sort of quite fresh and colourful and pops out. This feels, I guess a little bit more mysterious maybe, because there's the black background. There's something more, maybe more earthy and more grounding about the mini deck. It is very small, so this is a little bit shorter than a standard RWS. Do I have? Maybe the Poesis Oracle is a good comparison. I think that's sort of standard tarot size. Forgive me if I'm wrong about that, but you can see here we've got, yeah, it is standard tarot. So the Poesis is behind, is the same width as the Discovering Beauty, but Discovering Beauty is a little bit shorter. And then if we compare this to the mini, it is really, really small. I think I saw somebody, oh no, maybe you can't quite fit 3, but it's tiny. So if you like a mini deck, then this will be for you, because it really delivers on the mini front. I struggle a little bit. Well, I've just never really got into minis, basically. I kind of quite like the experience of having a lot of big cards in front of me. I tend to go large rather than small. But you can see it's like perfectly shuffleable. Probably not going to be able to riffle shuffle it. Cardstock is really nice. That's something I didn't mention about this as well. It's got quite a similar kind of cardstock. What is the cardstock on this? I don't know if I've seen, but it's very, very good quality. Like, it's got that, it's like matte, swooshy, very flexy, very sturdy feeling. Like, I don't think this is going to give up the ghost anytime soon. So yeah, there you go. That was the mini. That's the cardstock. Doing this in all kinds of chaotic order. Let's turn to the guidebook. This is huge. Let's see if I can adjust the... Can I do this without making everybody dizzy? There we go. Here is Sophia Litwak's guidebook. It is a masterpiece. Yeah. Oh, this guidebook is just fantastic. So let's just start at the beginning, shall we? Lovely end papers. Dedication, table of contents, some kind of, I guess a bit about the origin of the deck and the creator. Then, what makes this book so special is that we have, so we have the title, a keyword, which is not on the cards, the kind of core meaning down here, some questions that you can ask yourself, which I really like. I like to use, tarot, let's make it in shot, shall we? I like to use questions in tarot. Like, for me, if I've had a good tarot reading, it means that I've come away with questions to mull on rather than answers. I don't really use tarot as a kind of yes/no. It's more like, oh, where is this going? Okay, now I have another area for me to like reflect on and chew on. It's like the kind of stirring the process of self-reflection and growth. Then we have some nice affirmations and then a beautiful poem. So let's take the the Fool as an example. She closes her eyes and leaps. She has belly deep surety in her instincts. She knows there is nothing she can ruin by being herself. Whoa. I really feel so moved by this deck and the writing. The rules and boxes and scripts she was taught are relics of a life not meant for her. She moves her glorious body to the sound of the wind. She will discover the adventures meant for her. She is destined for leaping. She is destined for new things. Yeah, Sophia is a great writer. I'm so blown away by this deck. So the really special thing, apart from the fact that the write-ups and the poems are so good, is that Sophia shares her kind of process in creating the imagery for the particular card and what she was inspired by, and there's little like notes with dates on, so the 7th of maybe it's the 12th of the 7th. I'm English, so I read dates, I think, differently to people in the US, but anyway, sometime in 2024, I pulled this card twice today, and both times it filled me with peace and hope. Keep leaping, keep believing, keep remembering that rules are fake. Have perspective, face the fears, dare to keep changing and admitting you know nothing and absolutely everything also. Then we've got a little homage to the Gentle Tarot. I am bound for newness. I swim past the threshold into the unknown with energy sparked by the divine within and without. Lovely. So yeah, it's just you really get a sense of like everything that Sophia is drawn on. And this is for every single card in the deck. Like 5 of Swords. Like there's no skimping, and I really appreciate that, because to me, yes, the major arcana have like maybe, they're particularly symbolic, but I feel like every card in a tarot deck is equally important because they all speak to a facet of what it means to be human. They all speak to an aspect of our life and our experience. And yeah, I want to go as deep in the minors as I do in the majors. Yes, it's always exciting to get a major in a pull. It makes it feel somehow more, I don't know, that this is something really core to my life path somehow. But I just, I don't know. I really appreciate the work and the effort that's gone into sharing the process and having even a poem, that's 78 poems that was written on top of 78 pieces of artwork, and it's lovely. And then I think in the back of the book, there's a little bit more information, but this looks quite similar to what was in the small book. And in terms of how it compares to what's in the little guidebook, let's go to 3 of Fire. So here we've got 3 Fire is about stepping through, down and out towards the next adventure. We can pause here on the other side of this threshold, but we have to step through the gate. It calls us towards courage, towards enough bravery to be gentle with ourselves as we embark on the journey. That's 2 Fire. Okay, so then 2 Fire here. Fire is a call towards courage, towards enough bravery to be gentle with ourselves as we begin to embark on the journey. So very much captures the same kind of idea. Then we have 1 question, what bigger world am I being called to? And then 1 affirmation, I treat myself with trust and gentle kindness on the journey towards my dreams. So we do get more in here, but the essence of I would say the questions, the affirmations, and the meaning is captured in this small book, just a slightly abbreviated version. What we get in addition in here is a keyword, a poem. Oh, right? No keywords, are there? No, there are no keywords in the small guidebook. So a keyword, a poem, and then this whole process, which is just like a yummy piece of deliciousness to jump into all of its own. So let me know if you want the big guidebook, and as I said, if there are enough requests, and it's, you know, as always, a little bit dependent on sales. Like, the shop is still very small, so I have to wait until enough sales come in order to be able to buy more stock. But this is definitely like on my question mark potentially to stock in the shop, so let me know if you're interested. Okay, so last but not least, let's do a little reading. As always, I feel like readings are messages for me, messages for the collective. Maybe you find something personal in there too. I treat tarot readings a little bit like dreams, you know, there's many, many layers of meaning hidden, and we can all take something to chew on, to reflect on. It's like an invitation to come into the present moment and see what's there. Just for the sake of the video, I'll try riffle shuffling and see how we go. I'm not a super brilliant riffle shuffler, but my bridge. Okay, it's a little stiff right now to bridge, but you can see it's pretty good riffle. I think somebody who is stronger and more persistent than me, like I feel like these will get softer as we go on. They also slide very nicely, little slippy, but nothing out of the ordinary. I much prefer a deck that moves to a deck that is stiff. So, okay, let's see. Message for the collective. Do one more. Corner shuffle. What do we need to hear right now? Strength. A lot of my own personal work lately has been focused on developing my inner masculine, my sense of my own strength. I'm a very watery, soft and fluid person, and I feel there's something in this card that is inviting me and inviting all of us to reconcile the two parts. That to be in touch with our inner masculine doesn't mean to be aggressive or rigid or strong in a kind of traditional military rigid sense. Doesn't mean to be those things. It can include some of that, like sometimes firmness is important, but perhaps there's something about like an inner strength where we just feel so connected to our central pole, our knowing of who we are and our desire to protect ourselves and our own boundaries, and that's so unquestionable that actually we can have a lot of softness and a lot of fluidity, these like fluttering butterflies around the edges. There's no need for me to strike out and to kind of be bring my strength in a very forward way to the outside world. I don't have to show you all how strong I am. I just can know that I have this inner light, this inner sense of safety and strength and protection that sustains me. Yeah, it's beautiful, really lovely. Okay, I will read the guidebook, hoping that will have landed with some of you. We have strength asks us to be dedicated to tender self-compassion, To be in pursuit of courage and personal power from a place of active self-love. How can I be radically on my own side? There you go. Amazing. I believe in my own magic. What a great write-up. What a beautiful deck. I am so excited now I've filmed the walkthrough to be able to continue playing with the deck. Yeah, it's wonderful. Very happy to have it in my collection, and very happy to be also stocking it in the shop so I can bring it to some more people in the UK. Particularly while I think Sophia is on a posting hiatus. I don't think she's going to be doing any more sales on her website until, I think she is back up and running in January. But again, you'll have to go and follow her on Instagram. Not only will you get like updates, I guess, about her work and the kind of what she's producing, but also she does these lovely daily draws where she'll be out and about and pull some cards and share a meaning, and I think it's really helpful to get a flavour of the deck and the kinds of readings and insights that you can get from it. So go check her out, follow her, and I've also got an interview coming with Sophia, which I will be filming tonight when I'm as of recording this, and then we'll go up on the channel shortly, which I'm also really excited about, because then I can get a lot more juicy info about the creation of the deck and Sophia's tarot practice. Yeah. Okay, so I completely forgot to do pairs, so I'm back a couple of hours later. Hopefully the lighting won't be too crazy different. Yeah, I had some really, I feel like I've got some lovely decks in my collection that will pair really beautifully with this. So the first one, which I say like it's a surprise, but it's my collection and clearly I have a particular taste. The first is Mari in the Sky's My Friend Fire. These two decks have, to me, very similar energy. It feels like the connection with Mother Nature, with the earth, and yeah, the voice of nature is really strong in both decks. And the colour palette goes really well together, I think. It's not like an identical colour palette, but I just feel like on screen it doesn't look like it goes as well as it feels like it goes in person. Like maybe it's just something about the energy of the decks in my hands that feels like, to me, these go two of earth and fire within. Like, yes, absolutely, there's a sense of like, first of all, I love the little kind of synchronicities of the swirls and the circles here, but yeah, there's some way in which to find balance we have to draw on our kind of inner fire. 4 of fire perfectly, oh, that's the 6 of fire, perfectly in place. 9 of water, trust. Yeah, I feel like these are just, maybe these few cards without a border kind of aesthetically go a little less well, but justice, deep cry, absolutely speaks to like the grief of injustice. Hanged One, channel, wow. Yeah, I love this as a pair. I will definitely be using it. I think this is probably the one that I feel most confident of as a good pairing. They just kind of feel like, although the art styles are slightly different, that they come from the same world. 10 of fire, fire within. Root of air, allow. Yeah, I love it. Okay, so that's the first pairing. I'm really looking forward to working with those two together. Next on the list of pairings is the Poesis Oracle. I'm really enjoying the Poesis Oracle at the moment. I've been using it a lot with the new, well, not the new guidebook, but I bought the guidebook recently. In another one of my videos, I was talking about how I was struggling to use the Poesis Oracle. Not struggling to use, but I just wasn't picking it up as much, and I felt like maybe I was, like, I love the deck, I love the artwork, I love the keywords, there was some reason that I was not reaching for it. I think I couldn't find a way to use it in my practice, so I bought the physical copy of the poems that go with each of the cards, which you can access online, but I generally tend not to like to use my phone during readings. So buying the physical copy of the guidebook with the poetry in was a total game changer, and I'm loving the deck now. I think it looks beautiful with the Discovering Beauty Tarot. Four of Wands, Wound, lovely. The Devil and Surrender. Eight of Cups, 8 water, and Breathe. It's a real sense of like connecting inwards to our breath and our kind of inner knowing in order to take the steps on the outer pilgrimage. Voice Fire and Harvest. 9 of Earth and Celebrate. Yeah, I like this a lot. The Tower and Transform, beautiful. And the imagery also kind of mirrors nicely. 10 of Earth and Work. Root of Earth. Root of Earth and Birth. Yeah, it's a great combo. I realise that the Poesis, well, for me, the Poesis really goes with a lot of stuff, but I think aesthetically and like functionally it will work really well with this deck. It feels like the keywords kind of, yeah, are appropriate for use with the Discovering Beauty Tarot. So that was pairing number 2, the Poesis Oracle. Next I have, what do I have next? Yeah, this one's a little bit of a will she won't she work, but I wanted to give it a go. It's the Extraordinary Incantations Tarot and Oracle by Practical Magic. Yeah, very different kind of deck, different aesthetic as well. I just wondered if it might offer, like, this is, yeah, very earthy, very watery, very emotional, maybe having something to kind of counterbalance a little bit. So perhaps like at the end of a reading with this deck, it could be nice to pull, are we upside down? Yes. To pull a card from this deck. So Spirit Water, I can admit when something has run its course. Awakening, I make it my business to get the job done. Yeah, so there's some way in which, like, okay, we have a sort of a moment of awakening, and then the question is, how are we going to use that awakening? What are we going to do with our new knowledge, our new sense of self? Offers a sort of practical or empowering kind of message to take from the Discovering Beauty card. Voice Earth, I'm in no rush. Lovely. The Star, I care deeply. Yeah, maybe like I care deeply about my visions and my goals and my aspirations. Yeah, I think it's not aesthetically not a good match, but I do like this as giving something a little bit more concrete, where this is very open, very soft, very questioning. I feel myself in like quite an open and questioning space looking at the imagery and reading with this deck. And here this kind of gives a little like landing point, which I like a balance of in readings. I think it's, for me, it feels quite, yeah, I like going into somewhere liminal. Like this is a very liminal deck, and swimming around and contemplating and reflecting, and then having just something to like bring me back into my daily life, into reality. So that's something that I really like using this particular deck for, the Extraordinary Incantations Oracle. So yeah, okay, maybe I would use that together. I think I'll have to give it an actual go and see if it works for me. The next is another very fluid deck. I think part of the reason I thought about this one is because it's also this very emotional, fluid space. The the characters in the deck have this same sort of quite soft bodies: root, fire, regret, tradition, discouragement. 10 of Swords, humiliation. I mean, yep, that works. The Sun and desire. The Hermit, disgust. I mean, yeah, it's going to take a little bit more legwork to get there. Like perhaps this will speak to my specific situation. So like I need to spend some time inwards reflecting, because I'm struggling with a sense of like maybe disgust or shame, and there's something that I haven't. There's like a knot here that I haven't got to the bottom of. I can see a knot here and a little knot here in the belly. So there is meaning that I can make there. If that's something that like is resonating for me at the time, but it's not necessarily immediately obvious. So we've got, being a bit clumsy, 2 air, 2 of Swords and security. The Earth and appreciation. The Chariot and jealousy. Yeah, okay. I feel like they should work together, but for some reason the cards are not gelling in this moment. So perhaps that's another kind of try and see situation. Maybe the right cards come up at the right time. Maybe not, and maybe those two decks are just not destined to work together. The last is another maybe. I feel like I started off well with the My Friend Fire and the Poesis Oracles. I feel very confident of those as pairings for the Discovering Beauty Tarot. Then we've got this duo. I think the Divine Feminine is probably the more appropriate one, but I could also try with the Divine Shadow, Wisdom of the Divine Shadow. These are 2 decks by Intuitive Art and Alchemy, and they are oracles. As I said, we've got the Wisdom of the Divine Shadow, which tends to have kind of more challenging cards, authenticity, but like the sort of challenging aspect of authenticity, metamorphosis, discomfort, intrusion. It's a very confronting deck. I think it's amazing, but it's maybe not got the same earthy softness here, whereas the Wisdom of the Divine Feminine tends to be, what you'll see, kind of more embodied, more feminine, more earthy. Let's try. Just want to try and make sure everything's on the screen. Chariot, transform. Yes. Root of water, receiving. Beautiful. Again, the aesthetics are not... Somehow I feel like they go, even though they're very different art styles. The colour palette and the energy. So the 6 of water, it's sacred union. And we've got 2 people and 2 people here. Sacred union with our inner child. 7 of water, grounding. Yeah, this feels like a kind of antidote. It's like to come out of this clouded headspace, we need to root down and ground. Ace of air, radiance. Whoa. Great synchronicities. This like person with her arms spread wide and this person too. Beautiful. Oh. Whoa. It's making me think about like she's coming inwards and she's got this beautiful purple hair and we've got this purple hair and we've got the Three of Swords, the 3 air, and devotion. It's like devotion to your inner journey and to taking care and curling up and yeah, like protecting and tending to those really soft inner parts. Oh. Sorry, I'm a little bit shocked by the synchronicities. And again, here we have this like swirl and this posture of like receiving. 5 of Earth, mystery. 7 of Earth, nature. 8 of Earth, ease. I'm just sitting here smiling. 6 of Earth, cycles. 2 of Water, wholeness. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these two are, again, really feel like they're of the same world. Even if the art style is different, they really, whoa, they sing so beautifully together. Oh, I'm really excited to like see 8 of Fire and humility. Again, this feels like it feels like either the cards chime together and they are kind of creating a similar message, or they offer this deck offers some sort of counterbalance. So like the 8 of Fire, it's all, you know, about this like, well, she's dancing in the flames. She's, if we think about the 8 of Wands as like flying, you know, things are happening very fast, very smoothly, everything is aligned. But here the humility is reminding us to not get too carried away, you know, to like remain centered and grounded. 3 of Earth, pleasure. Again, this like similarities in the artwork is astonishing. 5 of Water, introspection. Yeah, I mean, I could keep going. I'd like to keep going because I'm really transfixed by this pairing. Ooh, the Lovers, life force. Wow. Oh, it's creating a real sensation in my belly. Like, I found something really beautiful in this pairing. Well, we'll stop on Spirit of Fire and Passion. Yes. So that was the last of the pairings that I've got. And I will have attempt 2 at closing up the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. And yeah, I would really love to hear all your thoughts. Like, do you have the deck? Are you interested? What do you like about it? Is there anything that you find challenging about the deck? What pairs do you use? Yeah, I really love engaging in the comments. So looking forward to hearing from you all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.